Exciting delivery today. My Boost Surfing powdered motorized fin arrived today. Electric surf fin. I was getting worried about this particular Kickstarter, but actually came through. So let's open it up and see what's inside. Now my particular box has a markered B3 indication on it. Don't know what that means, but it's probably some internal code for something or other. I am a Kickstarter backer, so maybe that's backer group 3, or maybe it's something completely different. Welcome to the team. Let's get started. Alright, there's the actual fin. It looks almost purplish as opposed to white. There's definitely kind of an iridescent sheen to that I would call a violet or purple. But I don't care, I'm putting it underwater so the color doesn't really matter. Assuming there are accessories, yes. Alright, that was an awful lot of wrapping for a quick start guide. Aha! That looks like something important. Looks like a cover. Looks like it's keyed to go in there and then slide back. I'll have to read the manual before I start pushing things. It might need to go in this way. I want to make sure it can come out before I put it in. But yeah, so it has a little cover on the back there if you are worried about that. Quick start guide. Has a adapter plate, I believe, for some type of specific surfboard or stand-up paddleboard. A screwdriver with a, looks like just a hex tip there. And a metal backing plate and a screw, which I assume has something to do with mounting. And I believe this is the basic remote, which has, I don't know if it's 2 buttons on it or 1 button. And here is the power supply. This is a output of 25.2 volts, 1.5 amps, 37.8 watts, universal 100 to 240, 50-60 hertz. And it looks like it comes with adapters for good old US of A, and looks like Europe. And I believe that is everything in the packaging. Alright, I'm at step 1. Everything supposed to be in the box is in the box. Power adapter, boost fin, remote control, longboard adapter, and screwdriver. Charging the fin, step 2. So plug it in, make it charge before you do anything with it. Alright, to charge it, remove the rubber plug. Insert the charging cable. And wait. There is a light here on the charger that's red. When it turns green, you should be charged. It says 2.5 hours max. The only thing I can find in the quick start guide about the safety guard here is number 4 under precautions. To maximize safety, install the safety guard included in the packaging to avoid any potential damage in case anything gets into the propeller area. So it just goes in and twists. It looks like it should go this way with the bigger end at the back, but there's definitely little nubs it's supposed to be snapping over there. There, I heard a little snap there, and it's in place. Feels pretty good. I don't think it'll come out easily. Not included in the regular box, but something they threw in the shipping box to me, probably because I'm a Kickstarter backer, is a boost cap. And also, I purchased this guy here, which is the stick-on fin box, because I'm planning on using this for something a little non-traditional. I went on the Boost website And when you buy the stick-on fin box kit, it's supposed to have a white adapter that's kind of like this that hooks to the boost but doesn't have this thing that will slide into it. And then also some waterproof adhesive that you stick to the back of this and stick it on whatever you're using. So mine came with just this guy. I'm a Kickstarter backer. It's possibly they maybe just haven't manufactured the rest of it, so they only sent me this, or maybe their shipping company had a mistake and didn't put everything in that they were supposed to. But I'm missing, kind of the important half of this thing to stick in there. While waiting for this guy to charge, I figured I might as well weigh it. It is 1.2 kilograms or 2.714 pounds. And as it's charging, it's just slightly warm. Nothing concerning, but you know there is a little bit of power going in there and being lost as waste heat. Alright, the red light was really bright. The green light, however, is quite dim, so you have to be in line to see it. So we are charged. Let's get going. Before you put this in the water, it's very important that this plug gets very nicely positioned in there to completely block all water ingress. And it said in the video that I saw that the thing should go down deeper, like have a gap around the outside here. Okay, then it didn't include all the parts I needed for the stick-on fin mounting, so I can't install the fin. So next step is switching arm. And they provide a nice little magnet in here. And there's a logo there, supposedly. You hold this near that thing. Oh, and it turns on. It's supposed to be green. I think I'm supposed to hold it for a while. Okay. Now it's green. Okay. Green light, 100 to 80% charged. Okay, I need to connect to the boost fin with the remote, and that's paired with the Boost Fin app, which I got from the Google Play Store. My device is turned on. It wants to need my location. We found the Boost Fin. That's good. Pair to it. Okay, device name, Boost, seems reasonable. Alright, there's a lot of options here. Well, let's go to remotes. Remote number 1. Connect new remote. Well, no, it looks like it has a remote already, maybe. So I don't need to connect a new remote. It looks like it might be good to go. And there's a lot of settings in this app. So short, you can set your speed and power and so forth for a custom setup. For long, it says 50%, duration 2 minutes, so I could change that if I wanted to, I assume. And let's see, extra settings. Shut down after 30 minutes, seems reasonable. Factory reset, disconnect fin. So, I think I'm set up. Alright, it looks like the remote control was already paired with it. I have unpaired it, just so you can see how the pairing procedure works. Hit connect remote. Okay. Blah. Connect. Press the short button. So that's this side here. Okay, remote not found. We'll try again. Press one of the buttons on the remote. Okay. Well, that didn't seem to do anything. Let's try to read all the instructions. Alright, I'm running into a little bit of trouble getting my remote paired with the fin here. So the fin is talking to the phone, and there's no remote paired. It has the flashing blue light. It says connect remote. So I push the connect remote button, and then I've read all that text. Push the button. So I push that button, and this thing just keeps flashing. I heard the button click, and I've confirmed I'm supposed to push, not push and hold. So I'll try again. I'm going to try with the other button, and it's just flashing. And I've tried this several times. I've tried pushing and holding and so forth, and it just never seems to connect. So the customer support at Boost Surfing said they would be sending me a video about how to open the remote, but they never did. So eventually I opened it up on my own, and I determined that the problem I was having was because the battery that shipped with it was dead. It was basically at 2 volts. So I have purchased my own replacement brand new battery here. We're going to put that in, and then I can continue with the review, unboxing, demonstrate the phone app, and so forth. Alright, this is an A27 12-volt alkaline battery. The positive side goes over here, the negative side goes on the spring. There's a couple of alignment holes in the bottom plastic and some pegs that are in this rubber. Once you get those 4 pegs in the holes, it's aligned correctly. Then you just put this case back on. Now it's important when you tighten these up, you do a pretty good job tightening them. There's been some reports of people who have taken this remote out in the water and water's leaked in because the screws were not as tight. So when you get your remote, you might want to also just buy a 1.5 millimeter hex and make sure you have these guys tightened nicely when you get it from the factory, just to make sure it's as watertight as it possibly can get. Alright, so I tightened all 6 screws just loosely, and if you look around here, there's a plastic, the kind of rubber between the 2 pieces of plastic, and it's not really squeezed in yet. So I'm going to go through, and on each of these, kind of in the crosswise pattern, kind of the same way you tighten up lug nuts on a car tire, I'm hitting, the 4 corners, and then the 2 sides here. And it's not completely done, but you can see that at least the gap is even all the way around. And I'm going to hit each one of these just another half turn. And I'm going kind of in a star pattern back and forth to kind of try to keep the compression even all the way around. And now I can see the rubber is squishing out just slightly from the plastic. So it used to be kind of inside, now it's squishing out a little bit. And so I think that's going to be tight enough to maintain seal on this. I'll find out when I take it in the lake. Okay, let's see if I can give you a run through of the app. I'm going to hold the screwdriver next to the fin here. Turned on. Now the fin is flashing blue because I do not have a remote paired with it. This guy started spinning as soon as I turned on the fin, so it's detected the fin, and it says, hey, connect remote. So you hit connect remote, you hit connect. There's a whole bunch of stuff about how to do it. What you really need to know is that you push the short button once, and it recognizes it. This thing changes to a slightly different flashing pattern. You press the long button, and it's paired. So these are the default settings. The short button will give you 110% for 1 second, and then it will give you 80% for 4 seconds, and another 110 per second for 3 seconds. It says medium load, wait 45 seconds between short bursts. Now the long button, you can pick here, a 3-minute getting to the line, stand-up paddleboard assistance, trolling, or wind, which I'm assuming is the highest power level. So if you say wind, it says up to 40 minutes on a full charge. So you hit save. And so here you can change your modes. You can just say, hey, I want a certain amount of power for a certain duration. So, I want full power, 115% for 11 seconds. And it says medium load, wait 1 minute 45 seconds between short bursts. And this wait time has to do with a cool down to prevent the battery from overheating and the motor from overheating and so forth. So if you turn on smart mode, then you have these adjustable parameters where you can have, step 1 at a certain power, step 2 at a different power, step 3 at a different power. So it kind of depends on how fancy you want your profile to be. Or if you just say, hey, just give me, 20 seconds at 115% power, boom, save it. So once you've done this, these buttons on the remote correspond to the short and long power settings that you've done. If I push the long button, which you shouldn't do with it out of the water, it'll turn on at wind power for 15 minutes. And I'm assuming that is not anywhere near 100% of its full power. So they also have extra settings, which is basically automatic shutdown after it hasn't done anything for 30 minutes. You can factory reset it. You can disconnect the fin. So it's a relatively simple app. And once you set the settings, you never have to use the app again if you don't want to. As long as the fin here is green, it's paired to that remote. And so you can just turn it off, and the next time you turn it on, it'll stay paired to that remote. Okay, once you have the remote paired and programmed with the settings you want, then it's time to mount this to your surfboard. Boost sells several different types of these plastic adapters that are designed to snap into the fin slots of various surfboard and stand-up paddle boards. Unfortunately, the one I ordered was the stick-on adapter, where this thing slides into a plastic thing that you stick-on with adhesive, and they didn't have that one. So I don't have the right part to attach to what I'm trying to attach to, but how this would generally work is you set it in here, and you can see here those things snap in nice and flat when it's properly seated, and then these two screws screw in to attach to that thing. To the best I can measure, the center of these holes is 105 millimeters apart. The width here is just a hair above 9 millimeters, so I might try to manufacture my own adapter for the thing I want to attach this to, and then I can just screw that in. But that's essentially how you would adapt the Boost fin to any particular surfboard or stand-up paddleboard, is you buy the appropriate adapter for your particular brand. And if you look at their website, they have a good selection of things. I don't know how many of them they have actually manufactured fully. Like I said, the stick-on adapter, the white bit for that, didn't ship with my order, and so I don't know how long it's going to be until they have everything in stock. But that's the idea, is that they'll have adapters for all the big brands at least, and then you can snap it into or attach it to whichever surfboard you're using. And I'll leave you with some final tips and tricks from the Boost surfing forums I've been reading. There's a place here to attach a leash or tether. I recommend you attach the wire of some sort through that, either the official Boost tether or something you tie on yourself, just in case this thing were to fall out of your fin slot. It will not float, it'll sink. So you don't lose it. You want to have that tethered pretty well. Also, this little guy here seems to not work very well at all. People have said that they get a lot of water in the jack. Now the power jack is sealed, so the water shouldn't be getting into the unit, but it might rust the power jack. And if you have salt water in there when you plug it in, that's going to short things out and it'll be bad. So a lot of people have just not been using this guy at all. Instead, they'll buy a silicone earplug, like a swimmer's earplug, and stuff that thing in there really good to really seal it up when they're surfing with it. And that's especially important in salt water. And then, of course, I've already mentioned, make sure you check the tightness of these 6 screws here. Look at the rubber, make sure that it's really tightly squeezed between those 2 pieces of plastic before you get this thing wet, because several people have shown pictures of the circuit boards all corroded from salt water getting in on these guys. So I don't know how common that is, but 1.5 millimeter hex screwdriver is all you need or an Allen wrench to tighten those things down just a little bit more before you go in the water, just to make sure.